Hi everyone, welcome to the latest video in our Shipping Smarter YouTube video series. This one's on Courier Reviews. Now, we discuss Courier Reviews in our Shipping Smarter book that we released a few months ago in chapter 2, page 42. So if you've had a chance to read through the book, you'll understand a little bit about it, but I just wanted to expand on Courier Reviews. So there's been a lot of bad PR for courier and courier companies and Australia Post in the past few months, particularly bad press in online forums, on TV and on review sites. So I thought I'd go through and I suppose discuss that a little bit in a video as to why those issues are occurring and potentially how bad is it. So I've gone onto Australia's premier review site, productreview.com.au, and I've just, as you can see here, I've listed a lot of the major courier companies. These are not all of them, but some of the major courier companies and Australia Post that deliver e-commerce parcels throughout Australia. And as you can see, the reviews are quite damning. Australia Post 1.7 out of 5 stars. Fastway 1.2 out of 5. Hunter Express 1.5. And yeah, it is quite damning at first glance, but I wanted to go through some aspects of why these bad reviews are occurring, and explain it a little bit further. So the main reasons for bad reviews, from what we've seen, are late, the big one is late deliveries. Now, what we're seeing at the moment, and I'm sure most people do understand some, but some don't. So I just want to explain that there are astronomical shipment volumes being sent due to the lockdowns. Last year was the first start of that, and this year it's even gone bigger. And so obviously everyone being at home and is buying online, that's leading to huge volumes of goods being delivered by the courier companies and Australia Post. So what that's causing is, you may have seen some of the courier companies like Australia Post, Allied Express and TNT in the past few months, for days on end, they've actually, for a number of days, they've had to stop doing pickups for a few days to allow them to catch up with the huge backlog of freight that's been in their system. And so that's one of the repercussions of trying to get those goods delivered. The other one is operational changes they've had to introduce. So to allow them to keep operating during those lockdown periods, they obviously have to abide by legislation. That means less operational staff in their depots during shifts to avoid spread of the infections. And also multiple carrier depots Australia-wide have had COVID infections over the past or during the year, and that causes infected staff and their close contacts to have to self-isolate. So that again causes a knock-on effect where there's less staff being available to move those huge volumes of goods that are being transported. And also staffing shortages. Obviously, with the huge volumes, huge increase in volumes, the carriers are trying to find new short-term staff. And that's not always easy at short notice. And also training them, there's a training process, and that's has to all be done while they're also trying to deliver all these, huge volumes of products. The other thing is poor delivery choices by courier drivers. Now, there was a one of the TV networks had a piece on that a few weeks ago, where drivers were caught, on TV or on cameras, throwing goods over fences or down driveways, or sometimes not attempting to deliver at all. Now, I'm not here to try and defend that by any means. That's not good enough. But in the same respect, again, these guys are being asked, to deliver sometimes 70, 80, 100 items, and pick up and deliver 70 or 80, 100 or do that many drops or pickups per day, and that's sometimes nearly twice as much as what was happening in previous years. So these guys are just constantly on the run, constantly trying to get the goods delivered quickly, and sometimes they make a bad choice. Again, not defending them, but I suppose just trying to get people to understand that they are seriously under the pump to try and get those goods delivered. Now, there's also issues around support when issues occur, so that's the customer service teams. And obviously, there's things like slow response times or sometimes no responses at all. And again, that leads to obviously huge increase in volumes. Obviously, that means more issues are occurring when they with those huge volumes, and then obviously more queries are happening from their customers and from consumers, at the end customer, trying to find out where the goods are, what's the ETA, etc. So it's just a snowball effect, I suppose, where it's just slowing down the whole process of trying to get answers for people. So these are some of the normal causes of delay, and I just wanted to highlight them so that people understand that these are some of the things that can occur in a day-to-day delivery for a Australia Post or a courier driver. There can be weather conditions. That can be severe rain or storms or wind conditions that can cause delays. There can be vehicle breakdowns, and that's not just the courier delivery driver. That can be a line haul vehicle, which is the large truck that delivers product from one state to another. That could break down, and then it delays product for nearly 24 hours or more before it gets to the end destination and then can be delivered. It can be driver sickness or injury, which causes delay. So if a driver goes out in the middle of the day, becomes sick, he has to bring that vehicle back to the depot, or someone come and get it and take it back to the depot. And there's usually not someone available to then just go out and keep continuing doing deliveries. There's not just drivers sitting around waiting for that. The industry works on very small margins, and drivers can't be just sitting. There can't be a spare driver waiting around to do a job like that. There can be highway and traffic delays as well. Again, whether it's courier drivers or the line haul vehicles. Acts of God, obviously, like the COVID pandemic or bushfires, flooding, they can all be reasons for delays. And obviously the peak periods of time when the major sales are on throughout the year, like the Amazon click frenzy and the lead up to Christmas period. They're all periods where there's huge volume increases of goods, and that can cause major dramas for the courier companies. So how bad are they? So I've just gone through the product review site, and a lot of those reviews go back over 15 years, nearly all the courier companies there. And so I've taken all the 1 to 2 star ratings, which is the worst ratings available. And as you can see there, from all those courier and companies in Australia Post that I mentioned earlier, over 15 years there are a total of just under 40,000 bad reviews. And over that 15 years, even though there's no numbers of each of the courier companies, and Australia Post don't say how many products they move over that period, but I can tell you right now, I've been doing this for 15 years with SmartSend, and it'd be well over 100 million parcels. It could be hundreds of millions of parcels being delivered during that time. But if we just said 100 million and we worked out the numbers, it's 0.004% of a negative feedback. So if we put it in perspective, it's not that bad. Okay, there are, you see some of the bad press and some of the things that some courier drivers or staff have done at times, and it doesn't look great. But when you put it in perspective, they're actually not that bad. What we've seen in our 15 years at SmartSend is our expectations are that you're going to have some form of issue with about 3% of your shipments. Now, what that means is that could be a courier caused delay, which is a lot of the things we've spoken about in this video so far. It could be a sender issue, so the customer sending the product. There could be a problem with the shipping label. The barcode on it may not have been printed properly, or it could be covered. The sortation code on that label, which is what the carriers use to sort the goods automatically. There could be something wrong with that, and it can't be read properly. It could be an incorrect order sent by the sender, and it needs to be sent back, and so there's an issue there and a delay. It could be inadequate packaging, which causes damage to the product. It could be a buyer-caused issue, so the buyer may have provided the sender with the wrong, incorrect address details, and there could be issues like the actual delivery address. So gated and secure communities are very difficult to deliver to, whether that's a tall apartment block that has secure entrance, or it could be a residential community. the drivers don't have the PIN numbers to access those communities, and if they try to deliver and press the number or whatever for the unit, if that person's at home, there's nowhere to leave that product. It's quite often a street front, and it's not safe to obviously leave it at the front of the community. So that can be an issue as well. And it could be a technology issue, so it could be some kind of scanning problem or a sortation code issue, which could delay. So we believe there's around about a 3% to expect around about some form of. Some of them are major issues, some of them are very minor issues, but 3% of your shipments, roughly, there could be something happening there where you may experience a delay. We discuss this much further in the Shipping Smarter book as well. So there's a lot of case studies, a lot of reasons for these types of issues and what you might be able to do to actually resolve those or at least minimise them as well when you're sending out product. So shipping customer service support, just to reiterate, there will be issues no matter which carrier you use. There's no bulletproof, gold star carrier out there. There's going to be issues when you ship product, and what we recommend is that you team up with a service that will support you when those eventual issues arise. And what that means is not always going with the cheapest shipping option. So unless you sell a really cheap product and you obviously cannot afford to pay a premium price for shipping, then okay, we understand that. But if you're selling a medium to high range product or valued product, we would highly recommend considering using a more premium carrier, because you're going to have less issues because they have better networks and better systems in place, and you'll have a better support as well. So at SmartSend, we provide all our VIP customers with a 9-minute response time, and also live chat options. So we help customers respond and resolve issues very quickly, and all our customer service team come from transport. So we've got those contacts with each of our courier partners to help resolve those issues quickly. So again, thank you for listening today. If you have any questions or need advice, I'm available on my LinkedIn page, Steve Visic, or you can email us at sales@smartsend.com.au. Thank you.